we're going live. And we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, good morning, good evening, good day, good night. Maybe I see people coming in from all over the world. At least that's what I get from the names. Maybe we can see in the chat. I see Connecticut in the house. I think that's what CT is. Let's see what other countries, what other states we have in the house. Hello, Drew. Hi, Archie. Hi, Sunny. Zachary, it's going to be a great session. Really hope so. Hello, Michigan, Florida, Canada, Brazil. We changed continents.
Amazing.
MD, so that's Europe with Moldova. Hello, I'm from Romania, so nice to see you. Denver, Italy, North Carolina. So nice to see people from all over the world. I think Asia might be a bit underrepresented. It's probably time back there, but no worries. We'll have the recording for Asia, and really appreciate people joining in from Europe because it's late in Europe. It's 9 p.m. in Europe. So greetings, everyone. We're in for a great session today. I hope that everyone's is ready for it, whether it's your own identity or your AI agent in the chat or the webinar. We're happy to have you. But we really hope it's the human side of it because it's a very human conversation about AI tonight. The title, AI or Die, of this fireside chat sounds kind of dramatic, but in reality, this should be a casual but revealing, insightful conversation about AI adoption, especially for SaaS and agencies. I'm Alex. I will be your moderator. I'm probably the one that knows least about AI. I'm an agency founder, and we are in the phase of adoption. And I hope that I have a lot to learn from this session, as everyone here. And the masters we're learning it from are actually people that are building AI, using AI, and advocating for AI in other ways. From Brizy, we had Dimi in plan to be with us tonight, but he had a personal issue and couldn't make it. But we have Bogdan with us. A lot of you know Bogdan. He is co-founder of Brizy, Chief Product Officer and Head of Design, very focused on simplifying website building with no-code tools that are accessible to everyone. And that's where Brizy came into the world. I think Bogdan has a very unique perspective on the impact of AI, both being a builder of AI and also a user of AI. And he has very interesting and unique perspective, both technical and creative. Thanks for being here, Bogdan. Thanks for representing Brizy. And
thanks, Alex. And hey, everyone. Nice to see you.
Nice to have you here. And on the other side, we have Vito from Atarim. Probably the guitars in the background give away a bit of his history. Vito started building WordPress websites while touring as a rock musician. Then, if I'm not mistaken, transitioned to an agency, then to Atarim, a visual collaboration tool that transforms how creative teams work in a lot of ways. And what I saw most recently is that you actually have a team of specialized AI agents that do different verifications and checks. So we're super curious to hear about your perspective on AI.
Thank you very much, Alex. It's exciting to be here. Thank you to everyone that joined us. We've done some webinars before with Brizy, and it's always interesting conversation. So I'm excited to come back.
Nice. And we hope to do even more, because our last one was like, we were like a couple of buddies after for a glass of wine talking about what's changing in the world. So that was, I think, the kind of feeling that we want to replicate tonight. And I think that everyone can get value from that. So this discussion is a fireside chat. That is the main part of the discussion. We'll probably spend around 30 to 40 minutes on that. Then Bogdan will get to show us a bit of a preview into Brizy AI 1.5. And then we'll have a Q&A session with questions from the audience. If you have questions from in the meantime, I will try to keep an eye on them and note them down. But in case I do miss any of them, please re-enter them when we enter the Q&A session at the end. And that's about it. We should be done within the hour. Dissecting this really interesting topic of AI or die. It is a dramatic sounding kind of title, but let's start with just looking at it. When you hear this idea of AI or die, what does that actually mean in practical terms, let's say for agencies and SaaS teams today? So maybe Bogdan can
Sure. Yeah, it's. I mean, this title is really dramatic and sort of like a movie trailer. I don't know. It's but the die part, the death part, is probably not that far fetched, because it's not going to be an instant death. But if you don't use at least some AI in some sort of way or capacity, it's going to be a slow death for your business, let's say, or for your relevance, because it's everything nowadays and it's really useful. First off the bat, I'll say I'm an AI. I'm pro AI, but I'm not that I don't know, sold into every little part of our lives and stuff like that. So I think it's very useful and it's going to grow in time as much more important. But so in practical terms, for our companies or agencies or SaaS products, I think doing the repetitive tasks, the whatever you find most repetitive that you can automate with AI, that should be really good to do. And also any effort that is not decision making, or I don't know, at a level that needs a human input, it should be an AI workflow nowadays, I think.
I think that the concept of AI for us brings the whole idea of automation, which has been around for quite a while, especially in the agency space, where there's a lot of SOPs that are very repeatable by nature, and so automation has always been a core component of doing agency work at least at scale. I think that now we got another component to this, and what in the past where we had to hire folks from like those VAs that to do a bunch of those kind of small tasks here and there was to some degree replaced by Zapier. Even at the time, and now we're seeing transition more into this type of work, but of course into the daily workflow of the creation itself. I'm also with Bogdan. So I started my AI journey where I built the first implementation of AI in WordPress back in 2021, and since then I've been following this very closely. I'm also not under the illusion that it's going to replace all of us. It will replace the redundant stuff that we have. And I think that agencies in this point in time, especially from this concept of AI or die kind of perspective, we have a very interesting opportunity to create or to move the agency model to more of like the SaaS model. Because with these tools you gain unlimited scale, essentially, which basically is very similar to selling software. The whole exercise is about acquisition, retention, personal connections if you have larger accounts, in this way. But the work is automated to to that degree, not fully yet, but it's definitely getting there. And then what happens is that our skills, our ability to find our place in the market, designing the right SOPs, designing those right automations that happen through AI or otherwise, is the edge of the future, in my opinion, in this space. So yeah, we kind of maybe gave the whole thing in the first question here, Alex. But so I'll try to dig deeper for the future ones as well.
And also, if you're just doing it as we used to, like the legacy way, hiring people to do this stuff that's maybe repetitive or stuff like that, you work 10 times as hard as maybe a competitor that uses AI. So you'll get stuck if you don't go with the flow with the new technology. So basically, doing it the old way will not make it easy in the long run.
And those are definitely some things that we all know and feel, whether it's an agency or a product company. We do feel how AI is helping. What are some misconceptions regarding AI? Some of the most common ones or the biggest ones?
I think the biggest misconception is that you get this magic button with AI that you just buy something, a product, an AI product, and it's suddenly gonna autopilot all your flows, all your functionalities and stuff like that. But I think it's a misconception, because the AI is not necessarily a product, but more of a process, I feel. Because from our experience, what we see with agencies that we work with, or clients of ours, or founders that have SaaS companies, they say that, okay, I'll just buy this AI writer for the content or something like that, or buy an AI builder like our builder, let's say, and I'm done. It's fixed. It's gonna make us super productive, super quick in everything. But the problem is that you need to change how your team works with these tools, or with this stuff, or how you get the information. Because for example, if an agency's briefing process is already a mess, and you don't get the relevant info from the client in gathered correctly, what AI is going to do is going to build you a website in 30 seconds instead of 3 days. But that website will still be a bad one, because your info, your briefing process from the client, or the information that you got is not correct. So you'll just be moving faster, but still going nowhere. Like putting a rocket on a car that has no steering. You'll just end up quicker in the ditch. So basically, you need to fix parts of the human processes, or the human parts first, and not just rely on AI slapped on top of your capabilities.
It's interesting that you discussed the idea of tool versus process, and I remember having a previous conversation with Vito, even about going beyond just the tools and having AI systems. What does an AI system include? How do you generally look at an AI system?
Right. So this is the concept of leveraging AI in specific single points. It's about the workflow rather than the task. And a lot of the way that we still use AI today is to complete singular, smaller tasks, which is effective to some degree in there. I just want to continue on what Bogdan was saying there, that the way I see this, the use of AI is more clay than marble. You can't expect it to be that kind of clean thing in one go. It's something that you need to play with a little bit, find your own thing within it. And essentially, it's a tool like a website builder was drag and drop, or Figma Canvas was drag and drop, that you kind of use the building blocks and the capabilities to create something that is a little bit more in that sense. While at the same time, all of the stuff that are just kind of bogging down our day, these are the things that can be or because they're repetitive by nature, they can be automated. And the thing that we now have is the ability to make decisions, or for the AI to make decisions on multiple different variations without needing to create if then, and all of those kind of stuff. But just like if you have a fork in a road, that before only a human could kind of make that distinction without a lot of stuff, now that allows us to build this, which means that the singular task, the single decision points, the single assets that are created can be baked into a broader system that is not just a matter of sending it off to figure it out on its own and waste tokens along the way, but actually look at it like a process, like you would train a team member for any type of process that you might have inside the company, that you go through this and then you do that, and then you need to decide, are we going to do this one or this stuff? You have a consideration, then you need to produce this piece of information. So all of that is basically how AI systems are starting to be designed. This is literally the forefront of it, because 6 months ago, this was just like theory. People did stuff with the NA10 and things like this about a year and a half ago. But to complete the cycle, that's only something that has started to happen with Clobot, as we saw recently, and some of those different elements that are coming in to make decisions continuously. And that's like the agentic workflow. Now, that is good for exploration, but when it comes to just completing things regularly, a system is the way you do it. You don't just throw people into the water and like figure it out. It's like, go here and then go there and then go there, and then make the decisions in between.
Yeah, and I think that even the AI decisions are one part of it, but it's also the decisions of us on to how to build the system. And here we have the idea of when you look at an AI solution, do you build, do you buy, or do you try to plug in something existing? What's your take on that? How do you make the right AI decision for your system?
Build, buy, or plug in, right? So I think it depends on the industry or on the use case, because sometimes it might make sense to build it. Of course, with AI, with these Claude bots and stuff like that, you can just build it nowadays quicker. Not sure how much better, but sometimes it makes sense to build it. Buy it nowadays, I don't think there's solutions that you can buy and just deploy, because then you'll have the maintenance horror stories on top of that. Plugging it in, I think I'm biased towards that, because we do offer a SaaS product that can be plugged into your SaaS product or agency and resell it and do it white label and show it to your customers in a matter of weeks instead of building it in years. But I think the main idea here, choosing if you buy, you build, or you plug something in, is that you should look at your core strengths of your business, of your product, of your whatever, and you should build your own secret sauce, but you should buy the kitchen. This way, what I'm trying to say with that is that probably if you have the customer, or you already have this great product, and you just want a secondary revenue stream, like a builder for websites, you don't need to build an entire website creator for that in-house, because we've seen that with some hosting companies that we have been in talks to, and now are our clients, that they've spent a lot of time, a lot of money trying to stitch some APIs of large language models together and just call it a builder, or maybe on top of their legacy builders. And the results were, I don't know, maybe fine, just fine, clunky, basics, and they wouldn't be able to focus on it for the long term, because it wasn't their core business. Probably was their strengths were the infrastructure, the uptime, the hosting, and the domains and whatever. And that was just a side quest, let's say, trying to get some revenue. But I think from my perspective, in our case, of course, and I can only talk about the industry we see and we live, is that sometimes it makes sense to get the plugin and just move quicker, see how it works, see what the users think, and just deploy it quickly via white label and API. So that's my take on build, buy, or plug an AI.
I try to look at this from a perspective of who has the obsession. So if we're looking at those three elements, the only things that we build, unless it's our product, of course, there is if it's disposable, because we don't want to maintain those systems long run. Keep doing AI evals for each one of the systems that we may run. If it's something that is disposable, it can allow us to kind of vibe code it, or 3/4 vibe code it, basically, then we would go down this path and create some internal tools that are helpful throughout the organization. In fact, we have a guy that this is all he does. He just goes throughout the company, talks to people, and tries to basically build stuff to free up their day for those smaller use cases. But when it comes to critical systems, that's where we always I don't know, buy. We don't really buy. We plug in. We basically go and buy and subscribe to some sort of a solution. That this is where these guys' obsession is. And I think that this is where the whole thing ties together. We can try and figure out like a way to create like a sales automation and do the NA10 stuff, or vibe code something that will allow to do those cold outreach or whatever the type of activities that the sales team wants to do. But there's people that wake up every single morning like we do and obsess about a specific problem. They are immersed in the market way beyond the singular use case, so they can understand patterns of where things are going and where things are today. And so I wanna tap into that experience, that level of focus that other people have, if it is something that is a core part of my business, or even if it is something that we need regularly. Maybe it's not core part of my business, but we need it regularly, and we don't want to invest a bunch of resources into it. People talk about like the ability to spin up CRMs and things like this. Yeah, sure. If you have a very, very small business and you need something, maybe even on a personal level, then that's cool. But once you're starting to build an actual company, and you have a compliance, and you need to make sure that you have your GDPR in place and your SOC 2 in place, and that you have permission levels, there's a lot of value in just using whatever HubSpot or something like that, and let them, few thousand people that wake up every day and think about what is the next feature, what is the next thing that comes in this space, how can we enable our users on a daily basis through the work that they do. And this is how we do it internally. So I give the benefit of the doubt to all other product people that this is what they do as well. You wake up and you think about the problem and you figure out a small solution and ship, right? And every day you do that, and it compounds over years. If you don't want to invest that, just plug in. It's a lot cheaper in the long run, or even in the short run. And it is, and you tap into someone else's knowledge, which is really what business is all about, how you can grow faster. You don't need to invent the wheel for every single thing.
And but just to be the devil's advocate here regarding the build your own product with AI or not, whatever, is probably some companies at a higher level, like sort of enterprise, probably will need to feel secure about the product that they are using, and they want it internally, or need to do something more I don't know, in-house, let's say, that they can control. They have a good vision on the long term, and probably they don't want to go with certain companies that might go belly up or stuff like that. But there's always enough variety and options in this space to choose correctly, and not something that will be bankrupt in 2 years or stuff like that. But that's understandable sometimes when companies want to build it themselves to control everything. But yeah, depends on the scale and on the company.
Yeah, and I really like the perspective of actually obsessing with the thing that you're building, and diving deep into that problem. And it's clear that when you're solving for a problem in that deep way, it's the way that you actually produce the biggest impact. But even from your experience as builders, but also maybe as users, as business owners, which part of work generally becomes faster with AI? Do you have some examples, or some examples where there's a misconception. It should be, but it's not.
Yeah,
Maybe you have some ideas here.
I have a cool example from a project we're working on right now. We're doing a bunch of these, looking for the 10x type of 100x opportunities to leverage AI. One example we did already a year and a half ago was we needed to rebuild our entire help center. So that means rewriting or doing like 70 articles, and that might take a bunch of time. If every article takes like 3 hours of going through and writing exactly the different bits and pieces. So instead, what we did is I actually sat and recorded 7 hours of myself going through the app, talking about every button, every single kind of drop down, what happens on the hover, what happens on the thing, and just narrate the entire thing. That asset became something that actually every team member in the company watches when they first join. So they get to know the product really deeply, and they have to listen to me for 7 hours. I tell them they can 2x it on the speed, so they don't need to bear this. But at the same time, what it generated is basically a 400-page transcript of how the entire application runs from top to bottom. And that asset is so powerful as we fed it into a custom GPT at the time and basically allowed it to write those 40 articles. Of course, we've gone through everything else and did small corrections with Adarim, leaving comments on the pages after they already implemented them into the website. But that was a huge lift. And on the back of this, we are now there's this concept of programmatic SEO, and so we've created a project that with the current solution, we're actually able to give people answers to keywords that a lot of people are searching for, but not only give them the answers as an article, but actually give them the direct solution. So the idea was like, they have these JPEG to PNG or remove my background kind of little tools, micro tools. Because the AI allows us to be pretty broad in the use case, you can go in and review your work from all kinds of different perspectives. So, for example, someone coming in, a very popular keyword is, I want to increase my conversion rate, right? Or how do I get more traffic? Or how do I make my website responsive? Or find any bugs before I ship? Anything that people are actually searching for to find listicles or articles that teach them how to do it. The AI can now do that directly. So what we did is we found all of these keywords, created an automation inside Zapier that feeds into AI and comes back. That is all connected into custom post types inside WordPress. And then we click the button and we got 150 of these articles, where in this case, our goal is not for people to actually read the content. In fact, the entire message is like, why are you reading? Just click here and it will just do it for you, kind of thing. And so the entire article is just designed to entice search and LLMs to surface the solution. And so people come in, they drop the website, and then it just tells you how to increase traffic, how to increase conversion rate, and all of those kind of different cool stuff that people were already searching for. That would have taken months, to do this type of project. And the setup is a lot heavier when it comes to both of these examples, but the reward on the back of it is massive, especially if you're considering the ROI on the time that it takes to do each one of those articles or things like that. So that was a really cool use case that we just did, and which is pretty exciting to see the AI in action, saving us 3 months of our roadmap on the marketing side.
That's super cool use case, and I've seen even someone in the webinar participant attempting to build a product with kind of that use case in mind. So I'll be happy to connect you guys to talk about it.
Yes,
and it's super cool that AI is kind of impacting directly the content part of website development.
Yeah, exactly. We also had a similar use case where AI got, I don't know, 10x faster or a lot better. And for a client of ours that is a small agency specialized in solar panel installing, let's say they they go for all the solar panel companies that install these panels, and this niche is theirs. But the bottleneck was content and imagery that they needed from the client the legacy way. So they wait weeks and weeks for sometimes for a few photos or text content or info about the client's company. And I'm sure all the agency know that sometimes clients don't have them, don't send them, don't, I don't know. So the client finally admits that what they have is already on social or on Google Maps and stuff like that. And when we introduced our integration for the AI builder with the Google Business, so you just click a button and you enter your or a desired Google Maps location, a business profile. That content is available for the site generation. All the info is there, like telephone, emails, location, whatever, images as well, testimonials. So this agency started to doing this for the clients, and it got, I don't know, 80% done of the website in a couple of minutes. Of course, with tweaks in a few days, so they could improve it manually. But it went from 2 clients a month or 3 clients a month, because this was a small agency, to, I don't know, 15, what we've seen in our records of new websites created for these companies, because they would also be allowed to cold outreach in a way for prospective clients that they created the websites upfront. Let's say they knew what their companies were on Google Maps, and they just generated that website and it sent it to the client saying, we can do this for you, it's already done, look at it, it's the preview, it's on our infrastructure, you can take a look at it. So it was quite interesting that they used this feature of ours with the Google Business Profile, and clients seeing their own images and stuff like that. Of course, it makes a deeper impact on the client, seeing that it's already done and it doesn't look half bad. So yeah, whatever. It's really interesting how you can speed up the flow with AI.
So that's interesting because it's helping agencies, let's say, pitch their clients or get into conversations faster. How does it help other companies? This kind of a switch to website building, becoming AI native. May I first? How does it help general companies beyond the agencies? Say.
I think it helps any company out there, because it's something that it's so broad and so massive and so important that you need to choose very carefully but quickly, because there's no time to waste. So I think there are some problems with going too fast on AI, because maybe sometimes you just get stuck in the adoption. I think some teams will be too eager to bite too much into this AI apple, and think that everything is going into production quickly, but they get stuck in the complexities of the product and all the intricacies. So I think sometimes getting stuck into this is you're trying to build a Ferrari, but you only need a bicycle, or a bicycle for a certain road, straight road or something, because doing too much is probably is your own enemy. And you should take smaller tasks and solve them with AI, and go to the next one, to the next annoying or specific problem, and fix them all, instead of going too broad and then seeing that things don't work. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I think Vito might actually have an interesting perspective from Atar in here, because if we're in a world where AI can produce this first draft, does feedback or do the reviews kind of become the new bottleneck in the process with what Bogdan has said?
So I think Bogdan also talked about this previously, that we all know those clients, the delay or the project that got that was lagged because of too much back and forth, too much scope creep, and all those kind of things. That was already. In fact, we surveyed more than 600 professionals to understand the magnitude of this problem, and there's an increase of between 500 to 700% in the delivery time for every creative project that exists in our space. And for example, if you build a small website with Brizy, you might do it in 3 days, like a 5-pager. If you're going really deep on your own, maybe even in a day with the AI capabilities. But with a client, the same 1-day project now takes 6 weeks. So the magnitude of the problem there is massively really, really impactful compared to the creation time. The delivery time is where it gets most of us. And so this has been my obsession for quite a few years since I saw this at the agency. And before, our game was, how can we give the other side context enough, or the human enough context to execute on the request with one click. Maybe I'll share my screen, Alex. I'll show some stuff here, some cool stuff here.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Go ahead.
How to speed up your project. More than double the speed of the project, really. So I share the screen. Maybe I can bring this up here.
Yeah.
So I found this random website. I thought it would be a nice place to have here. Let me even zoom in slightly just so we're all this thing here. And basically what we've been doing for years is the ability to leave a comment on any issue and just and wrap it with a bunch of context, like change this text to this, or uploading the images that Bogdan was talking about, everything in between. And then that's basically by wrapping it with an automated screenshot that marks the screen size, the browser version. We provided humans with all the context they needed to actually execute on this request. And you can even see that now the AI came here with, this is the first use case. Every message that comes in goes through a clarification test. And everyone knows that it takes about, you get something like make it pop on the pricing from a client, or I'm not sure about this one, all of these vague messages. In fact, we know that via email, 2/3, 66% of all creative communications are too vague to action on the first shot. And that was what the purpose of the system to begin with. But still, people can still make it pop in Adarim, and have been for many years. And so we created a clarification cycle that happens automatically here. And that if the message is too vague, like Grammarly checks for grammar, Claro here checks for clarity, and tries to clarify the message on the spot. Maybe you want that pricing link to be darker and bolder. Maybe you add a subtle highlight. Yeah, this is what I actually mean. And that kind of clarifies this, instead of what project managers did for many, many years, go back to the person and say, like, what the hell are you talking about? Maybe you meant this, maybe you meant that. So this is kind of an example of an automation that works directly inside that workflow. But beyond that, and this also connects to what Bogdan was talking about on the on that level of context. And if you feed it shit, you get shit, right? Basically. Yeah. So that's why we're trying to come into this from a perspective of how do we deliver websites, how do our users deliver websites, and run that full-on process with the client, regardless of the creation. The creation is done with whatever tool that you choose, Brizy, and anything Figma or anything in between. And we are there as a layer that connects to everything and runs that workflow. So the first thing that I did is actually just click the button, and I got a full-on discovery session about Brizy in a matter of a few seconds that tells us about your target audience, your tone of voice, anything from the services and products that are offered, your unique value proposition, what is the primary goal of this project, and everything really in between, style guides, inspiration websites. Got cited Webflow and Wix, I think good inspiration for this kind of stuff, what to do, what to avoid. And then all of that fed into a prompt. And what I did for this review that I'll show you here, I just kind of ran a conversion rate so we can get Bogdan more leads. In this, everyone wants a little bit more leads. So I clicked on that, and that basically just dropped in a pre-made prompt that we did, but you can write whatever you want in here. So one of the coolest use cases that I saw, and I saved that prompt from a pilot that we did, is this one. Look at this. Run a review for the homepage before we're showing to a client. A small business. This is a small website on a tight budget. So skip advanced suggestions and focus on quick wins to avoid embarrassment in front of our client. It's too late to make fundamental changes. Focus on these kind of stuff, right? And then there's a breakdown. On the header, look at this. On the hero section, look at that. On the body content, look at this. And so you can create this systematic, essentially automated manual QA. What otherwise needed humans to click around and check all of those different elements, we're providing all of the context to the AI to be able to run these really deep reviews, compliance or comparison to Figma files, comparison to copy document that were received by the copywriter, and at every stage of the build where you needed to look at something and make sure that it's of high quality, now the AI can do this for you and also spot things on your own stuff. So, for example, we had that once a year, we run that Web Agency Summit. You guys are part of this almost every year. It's like a big event, almost 10,000 agencies that join us every year there virtually on this event. And we built a landing page. I built that landing page. I like that kind of weekend, kind of do the first, the team goes on and builds the rest. So I did that, and I did the same page 6 times before, because the 6th time that we're running this event. And I did it, and I felt like it's good, but I ran a review. And what I forgot was the date on that page, And this is an event. The date is extremely important, but I just missed it, as I was working through this. And it just told me, where is the event date? This is, it understands what the whole point. Maybe place it here, maybe place it there. So this is exactly what we got here eventually. Oh, got a little guest here. Showing in the background, but this is exactly what we got here eventually, is direct suggestions that are context aware, that are looking at every single aspect of my work to help me advance toward the goal that I'm after. Yeah, Kai is saying hi here as well. You can eat orange. And of course, at the end, we have a little summary that gives us everything that we needed to do in one go, as well as estimating how long this is going to take us based on who we are. It knows that, well, here I set myself as a beginner, so it said that this is how long it should take me to make all of these changes and get you, Alex, and Bogdan a bunch more conversions from this landing page. Yeah, so with this, along with the upcoming feature in WordPress, we already have this in Lovable and in Bolt, but the WordPress version is coming in the next couple of weeks. Instead of just clicking keep and then doing the work yourself, you can click a do it button, and then it just executes on the work directly, modifying any existing page by looking at the code itself and connecting to your WordPress website. So this is where the entire system comes together, where it goes from the strategy to the tactic suggestions, and of course, at the end, the do it part of it.
That looks super interesting and quite useful. I must say. So yeah. So if we're at demo time, maybe I show a bit of the AI Builder 1.5, which is live. Probably some of you have played with it, might know it, and I don't know, maybe even like it. Dare I say? But yeah, we've introduced some cool stuff in the latest version, and we're always trying to improve it and do it better. But what we always try is make it as simple as possible. In a few clicks, let's grab all the info, not make the users write a lot of prompts and write a lot of back and forth. So basically, you can do it via a simple interface that you can choose manually to, I don't know, use some industry that you'd like. You can choose to add your own information and upload your own logo. But what I'm most proud of, and I think it's the most useful, is these integrations with Google Business Profile, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll go quickly on the Google Business Profile because it's the most streamlined and super nice to use. and we just enter something. I've played around a bit with some auto showrooms, secondhand cars or stuff like that. And it generates some interesting stuff, and sometimes it's quite nice. So you can choose here a few pages that will be part of your website. If you don't see the page, you can either enter it manually, let's say a contact page, and then maybe offer other ideas, or our team, or I don't know, let's say the about us should be a good page for, and you just, after you select your desired pages that will be generated, you just build website, and it sort of starts to create the the pages, and it's quite quick, I say, versus other competitors. Sometimes you can do it in other places, and it takes 2 3 5 minutes or so. This time, this one is, I feel it's quite fast, and generate something based on the content that you can we get from the Google space, from the Google business profile. So this is the Gravity Autos in Hollywood, as they say. The all the pages are here that we've introduced, and yeah, it's a working website where you can just change anything that you want. For example, you can regenerate the text with AI, and you just um, click here and regenerate. You can do it for the entire section. You can change the entire section or only the images, or delete the section completely. So basically you have some control, not full control, because that comes in Breezy if you want, and I'll show you a bit later. It grabs other images from their pool of images, and any text, every text is written by AI, of course, but featuring something that's related to the business, of course, that knows it's in Hollywood, knows it's pre-owned models and elite cars, as we can see here, which are real images from their socials. So yeah, it's almost there. I like to say 80% there. Of course, you always can change stuff and just delete some sections, or introduce a new section that you might feel it needs a contact section here, and it starts grabbing the information again from the Google business page. And you can also create anything. The map is also correct for the, so basically it's done for you. There's probably stylizing that needs to be done, and if you don't like the colors, if you don't like the fonts, you can always go here and regenerate the titles and text for the entire website. If you want the images for the entire website, typography, we can choose this one. Maybe we don't like this font. As you guys know, I'm a design addict, so I maybe need something more bolder, or not serif. So I don't know. It's hit and miss sometimes, but you can always change it later if you want. So also we can do colors, for example, and it goes across the website, which is a good thing to know, that if you're changing the colors, it will go through all the pages that you've created and you've chosen in the first place. You can also now it went to a darker blue and with the orange. So yeah, it's always nice to try, and doesn't cost you anything, of course, to do that. You can regenerate the entire page and add a new page if you forgot it. Some maybe you just need to add a new page in here that, I don't know, says customer testimonials or inventory, and it will be added and generated on the spot. And we can go through other pages, but yeah, it's so almost similar to in look and feel, because all the styling gets done in the same way, and the color scheme, everything will be the same across your website, as it should be. And yeah, that this is the inventory page with some, I don't know, plans to choose from, and testimonials. And yeah, you can try to do that. And if you like to do changes that require, I don't know, more fine tuning or stuff that is more easy to click on. Let's say, for example, you want some animations on a button or some other types of carousels or whatever. It's way harder to prompt or to tell AI what you want when you don't really know it. So you just bring it into the Brizy builder, the core builder of our systems, and it will be easy to just change anything and work on the on the site the old way, let's say. In the So basically, let's say we want some effects on hovers and stuff like that. This would be harder to do if I don't know, the telling it to the AI that it needs to do something like that, or just stretch the images, make them smaller, do I don't know, whatever else you'd like to do, just create some overlays on top of it. And you can see that the colors are already here. You can change them from a plethora of options in here. So yeah, it's much easier to work with it. But you already have this cool page that it's let's say 80% done, and yeah, you already have it here. You can update the page and preview it, and it's live on a subdomain of ours. Or of course, if it's white labeled, then it will go to this domain. So I think you can understand that this is a speed up workflow. It's never going to be perfect. Um, it's just a starting point, which most of the time will need some fine tuning, but it it's a lot faster than the old way. When up to here, you probably didn't even have this this menu ready for for it. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and yeah, you can do lots of stuff with it and fine tune it later.
Yeah.
That's I think that's about it for the 1.5 update for our builder, AI builder.
And I think it's amazing, Bogdan, that you explained it for like 7 8 minutes, but it only took like 2 minutes to set up. So I think that's the amazing part of it.
And you
Um,
can share the link to the customer, and with Vito's help and his tools, they can say, oh, I don't like this, but I like that. You do that, and in half a day you probably can change it. Of course, simple sites is not an e-commerce website. We'll get there at some point, but yeah, it's the first steps that we
yeah.
see, and it's quite used. We've seen millions of generations, and actually live sites in the thousands.
Yeah. And you also would notice something very important, which I think is too little talked about. Because I also come from a design background, and I know that when you have the product and you want to ship it to market, you do want to be able to do the tweaks. So you do
Mhm.
want to be able to make the photo a bit larger, to change the fonts, to change the alignment a bit,
Mhm.
to increase the padding. You do want to be able to do those tweaks. Just prompting alone will get you 80% there, but the rest of the 20% you have to do the kind of mouse click tweaks.
Yeah.
And I think that that is the complete experience for website building, the one in
Yeah.
which you start with the prototyping, the prompting, the whatever all of the great tools are doing right now, but you are able to come with your human touch and do the final touch yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes these tweaks, if you need to write them down, or even if you talk to a transcriber, AI or a source, it just gets super tiring. Just like change the button below the third section on the right, move it 3 pixels across, put this link into it. It's just
Yeah.
simpler sometimes to fine tune it with your own hands and mouse. So I think our hybrid solution is best of both worlds. The
Mhm.
starting phase, it's very interesting, and it's no doubt is the future. But finer tweaks and stuff like that will always be human oriented, and should be clickable, and try to do it in a hybrid way.
Yeah.
I think that kind of reminds me of that Andy Warhol, Andy Warhol kind of methodology of how he used to work at the factory. Is that 10 80 10. He would do the first 10% of the work, make sure that he works with the artist that was on the in the studio, and show them and kind of like take them through the vision and what they want to do. That artist used to do the 80% of the work itself, and at the end he would kind of move this to here, move that to here, signature in the bottom, make it his thing, at the end, give it that character. So that we see that across the board, that the work is shrinking to more of direction rather than actual move itself.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I still have a lot of questions, but we are like 5 minutes away from time, and there are a lot of questions in the chat. There's a lot of questions related to Brizy too. So I think we'll go a bit of a rapid fire and then try to wrap it up, like after the clock hits the hour. So I will take the questions and highlight them for you and read them out loud. We need the ability to duplicate ours or a customer's existing site. Is that ever going to be a feature?
Sure, you can already do it. Basically, we have the clone feature. Maybe, not sure if I need to show it right now. It's under the project settings, and it's a clone feature. It's a link, and whilst you are in your workspace where you want to duplicate the project, you just paste the link, and it duplicates your website, and it's one-on-one creation just under a different subdomain and a different name, and that's a cool way to do it. Basically, just, or of course in the Brizy Cloud. I'm not sure if the question was on Brizy Cloud, but I feel that it is. In your dashboard, there are. I might stream it right now just to show it, because it's so easy. And I'll put it on stage. Basically, of course, the Gravity Autos is recently created. You have this duplicate link, and it's duplicating the entire website, and it's called Project 165. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if this is the question, but we've had it for quite a while, and it is a feature in our builder.
Or maybe the question is about a website that's not in Brizy?
If it's not in Brizy, it's going to be tricky to copy. Every website builder has its own ways of doing stuff and doing its own internal ways of creating content, and duplicating it, migrating it. We are working on a feature like that. Basically, turn every website that is on the internet, try to recreate it in a way with our AI systems, but it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be one-on-one. We are trying to do as best as we can. We can grab the content and try to push it into a section that, or into a form structure that makes sense, but it's not going to be one-on-one if the website is built on a different platform than ours.
Cool. We have another question about templates and duplicating. Is there an option to create template or block variation based on the content and layout that I may have already created?
Yes, for templates, depending on your plan. If it's an enterprise plan or white label, you can have your own collection of templates. Basically, you can create in Brizy any website that you want. You can export it and set it as a template for your customers, for your clients, for anyone that accesses the library of templates, and it will be separate category in the sidebar, and it's your choice to do it, but it's only in the higher plans. It's only available in the higher plans.
Cool. We still have some questions. They are mostly about Brizy. We will extend with 5 minutes and try to rapid fire answer most of them. Bogdan, I'm sorry, but we're counting on you on these answers.
I have no other plans for tonight, so I can be here till 11.
I feel they're pretty objective questions, a lot of them. So, is there going to be an integration for our own or customers' URL?
I'm not sure what this means, like an integration for URL.
Maybe Akai, we can
Maybe
give.
provide more info, as
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate
Mhm.
on a customer URL.
Okay. Bogdan, do you plan to add the ability to write your own detailed prompt?
Yes, the ability to communicate with the AI, it's gonna come in the 2.0 version, which I can only just briefly show as static screens. It's under development, but my guys told me not to show it quite on screen yet. It's shy a bit, so let's just present a bit what I wanted to to show here was that it will be a prompt based or more of a prompt based, together with this profiles and Facebook or whatever you'd like to add, current website URL of your site, and we grab the information from there. Maybe that's the question that was previous. Maybe inputting a website URL that the AI builder should grab the info from. Probably that was the question. So I'll answer it right here. It will come in this 2.0 version, the next version, which will feature more extensively this collaborative communicating with the AI, and will be a chatbot that will do the stuff for you mostly, and it will also use these parts of our existing AI builder. And what it will look like will be inside the editor, inside the builder, which would be will be a great addition to our builder, to just say add this thing. But if you don't want it, you can close it down and then do your workflow in the usual way: click 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 click, drag, and write anything, delete anything. But whenever you'd like it to come up, you just press an icon on the sidebar and it comes back up. It knows your previous discussions, and you can just prompt it to do whatever you'd like. Hopefully whatever you like. There are still some things that might be more difficult to add, but most of the stuff, like changing the entire color scheme, doing new sections, creating new text and content, adding this video on top of another section. So it will come. This will be more prompt based and more interactive, let's say, with the chat. So yeah, it's gonna be the next version, which hopefully will come in Q2, sometime later in Q2.
Yeah. 2.0 looks exciting.
Yeah.
We do have another type of chatbot related question. If we can integrate chatbots into websites, and if so, how?
Yeah, for sure. It's an embed via the code embeds area of our builder under project settings, and you can paste the script that they offer, and it will be wherever it's supposed to show in the corners or whatever. But it's a simple integration, and we don't provide it ourselves. It's not an option that because this is also regarding the secret sauce versus the kitchen. We don't want to do everything and just build on top of it and create all the things. There are chatbots out there that do this stuff perfectly, and we just integrate it and it works. And we've tried it on our own website a few times. We even done it probably with some training on our support, but we got in trouble sometimes, because you need to be careful with these chatbots. They sometimes hallucinate when they don't know how to say "I don't know." if they don't know the answer to the question, they hallucinate and they said, yeah, it's possible to do that in Brizy, even though it's not, So, and the customers then say, oh, but I've talked to the chat and they said it was possible. Why isn't it possible? So, yeah, get yourself out of that hole that you yourself got into.
Okay. I will take one more, which should be pretty simple and straightforward. Will you add an AI logo builder on the platform?
That's super interesting. We've debated that for a long time. I think we will. Probably as an add-on, as a paid add-on, or we still need to discuss it. But it's something that's been requested, and I feel it's very useful. And the solutions right now are quite good, and the generations are nice. And we are adding more. We will be adding more AI generative. Media, logos, images, maybe even video, but that's a different discussion and at a different price point. But we are integrating more and more of these AI generative platforms.
Great. I think we are over time, and it was a super interesting conversation. We still have a lot on the table, I think, and maybe we just.
If there are more questions, I don't have anything against answering them. So why not? Because I won't be here as soon as Dimi gets back. So
Okay. Then let's add this one too.
yeah.
Am I missing how to edit tables and on site search, like the auto dealer site, but for the inventory without purchase buttons?
That's a great question, and sort of a difficult one regarding the site search. We've been trying to bring that for quite a while. We will do it as soon as possible, I think in Q2 as well. As for tables, we do have a table element, but what I think you are alluding to is that you'd like an integration with something like an Airtable or Google Spreadsheets that will bring all your content from an external database. And we do have that. It's 95% done. It's in the testing phase, and we will bring it probably not in the next update, but in a very soon update. So spreadsheets via Airtable and Google Spreadsheets, and site search in Google Cloud. Of course, we do that site search in WordPress, but the requested feature is in Google Cloud, and we are long overdue. I give you that, and yeah, we're working towards that.
Nice. And we do have like this. Will you do a part 2 of this webinar someday? And I think that definitely is something we should discuss about, because there were a lot of topics about AI adoption that we still have to answer. I think about successful or unsuccessful AI adoption, and I think there's a lot of material there for another fireside chat.
Should be named differently, AI and we didn't die or something.
Yeah, we survived AI.
We survived AI.
Yes. But I do want to thank everyone for being here. We will take note of the questions that are still left open, and try to follow up on them in one or another. There will be a official follow-up email to this session. It will include the recording. It will include also some goodies. I understand from Brizy that there will also be a promo with 50 free websites in the enterprise plan by the end of March. Correct me, Bogdan, if I said that correctly.
50 free websites or licenses included in the plan for free if the plan is acquired until the end of March.
Yes. And there will also be something extra interesting that we'll be sharing. We'll be doing a survey on, let's say, AI benchmark survey for SaaS and agencies. It will be in the follow-up. You'll be able to access both the survey itself and the results when we have them. So please make sure to check up on your email, and this follow-up email will be super important for everyone in the community, I think. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, Vito, for all the insightful inspiration. And I really liked the word obsessive from tonight. And I think that we all should obsess about the things that we are building, whether it's AI or not. Thank you, Bogdan, for showing us around 1.5 and giving us a lot of different perspectives on how to build or plug in AI into our workflows. And I think this is a wrap. We've had a great time together with everyone, and can't wait for part 2.
Sure.
We owe it to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Nice having you here. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.